General Hospital spoilers reveal that I can honestly say that the latest developments at Windermere have me feeling that old familiar rush I first felt back when the Cassadine family was still weaving its web around Port Charles. You know how it is when a story grabs you by the heart and refuses to let go? That's exactly where we are with Jocelyn right now, waking up in that dim, oppressive room at Windermere, realizing she's stepped straight into the same kind of nightmare that once swallowed Anna whole. I remember sitting in my living room back then, clutching my coffee mug so tight my knuckles went white, wondering if Anna would ever see daylight again. Now here we are, watching history echo in the most chilling way, yet with fresh layers that make it feel brand new and utterly personal. What strikes me most is how Jocelyn's own training from the WSB kicks in the moment fear tries to take over. I've always admired that girl's spirit, ever since she was a teenager navigating the chaos of her mother's life. But this is something deeper. She's not just surviving, she's calculating. In a room that feels like it was designed to break anyone's will, she spots the little tells in Cassius that don't add up. He's supposed to be the steady hero type we've come to rely on in Port Charles, the one who steps up when the town needs saving. Yet there he is, moving with these subtle shifts in posture, a flicker in his eyes that says the mask is slipping. I've seen enough storylines over the decades to know when a character's loyalty is being tested, but this feels different. It's as if the writers are reminding us that even the people we think we know best can hide shadows we never suspected. I've debated this with my old viewing buddies at the senior center. Some swear Cassius has always had that edge, but I maintain this is a deliberate pivot from the man who once stood shoulder to shoulder with the good guys. It's the kind of twist that keeps me coming back, because it forces you to question everything you thought was solid. And then there's that quiet, desperate moment when Jocelyn picks up the shard of broken glass from the window. My heart just about stopped when I saw her start carving that message into the wooden floor. It's such a small, brave act, yet it carries the weight of every hostage story this show has ever told. I kept thinking, who will find it? Will it be too late? The way the camera lingers on those faint scratches makes you feel the urgency in your bones. She's not screaming or panicking. She's using her wits, the same way Anna once did in her darkest hours. But Jocelyn adds her own touch, something fiercer, more personal, because she's fighting not just for herself, but for the family she's determined to protect. That's what makes this arc so gripping for someone like me who's watched generations grow up on screen. The young ones aren't just repeating the old mistakes. They're learning from them and turning the page in ways that surprise even an old-timer like me. Of course, the real gut punch comes when Cassius returns, that cold smile spreading across his face like he's been waiting for this exact confrontation. He doesn't just want her as a bargaining chip, he wants to use her to force Carly's hand over Valentine. Now that's the kind of layered scheming I live for in General Hospital. Carly has always been the fierce protector, the one who charges into battle for her children no matter the cost, and here she is again, facing an impossible choice. I've lost count of how many times Carly has stared down danger for the people she loves. But tying it back to Valentine adds this delicious complication. Valentine has his own complicated history in town, one that's left more than a few scars on the canvas of Port Charles. I've always believed his redemption was genuine in parts, yet this situation makes me wonder if the past is finally catching up in a way none of us saw coming. Jocelyn, trapped and improvising, starts playing on Cassius's ego, feeding him just enough to buy herself time. It's a chess match played in the shadows, every word weighted, every glance loaded. I found myself talking back to the screen, urging her on, because that's what this show does to you after all these years. It turns you into part of the family. What really elevates this whole sequence, though, is the discovery Jocelyn makes in that very room, the clue Anna left behind. It's the kind of breadcrumb that changes everything. Anna, with all her years of experience and those instincts honed through countless crises, managed to plant something that only someone as sharp as Jocelyn would recognize for what it is. Suddenly the pieces start clicking into place. and Jocelyn realizes the truth about Cassius's real intentions. It's not just a random kidnapping. It's part of something bigger, something that reaches back through the tangled alliances and betrayals that have defined this town for decades. I love how the writers weave these connections without feeling forced. It reminds me of the classic eras when clues in dusty old rooms or hidden messages would unravel entire criminal empires. Back then, it was often Helena pulling the strings. Now, it feels like the legacy has passed to new players, yet the thrill remains the same. Jocelyn doesn't waste a second once she understands. She turns that knowledge into action, slipping free just as the walls seem to be closing in. The escape isn't clean or easy. It's messy, heart-pounding, exactly the way real danger should feel on screen. I've been mulling over why this particular storyline feels so electric right now. Maybe it's because we've watched Jocelyn evolve from a headstrong teen into a young woman who carries the weight of her family's legacy on her shoulders. She's not just Carly's daughter anymore. She's her own force, trained and tested in ways that echo the veterans like Anna. And Cassius, oh, I could talk about him for hours. I used to defend him in conversations with fellow viewers, pointing out how he'd proven himself time and again. But this version, the one with the calculated smile and the hidden agenda, forces me to reconsider. It's not that the show is rewriting history, it's showing us that people are more complex than we allow ourselves to believe. That's the beauty of long-running drama like General Hospital. It lets characters breathe, change, and sometimes reveal sides we never wanted to see. I've argued with my husband about whether Cassius can still be redeemed after this, and I find myself landing on the side of cautious hope. The show has surprised me before with second chances that felt earned, and I suspect we're being set up for something even more layered here. The ripple effects are already starting to spread, too. Carly is going to have to face this head on, and I can already picture the fire in her eyes when she learns what's happening to her daughter. The mother-daughter bond between them has always been one of the strongest threads in the fabric of the show, tested by everything from mob wars to personal heartbreaks. This crisis feels like it could either pull them closer or expose cracks we didn't know existed, and Valentine, his name being dragged into the middle of it all, adds that international intrigue flavor that General Hospital does so well. I remember when stories like this would pull in elements from Europe or beyond, keeping the canvas feeling vast and alive. It's the same energy now, just updated for the characters who've grown into their roles. What keeps me glued to the screen isn't just the suspense, though that's plenty. It's the way these moments make you feel the humanity underneath the danger. Jocelyn carving that message isn't just plot. It's a young woman refusing to be defined by fear. Anna's leftover clue isn't just convenient writing. It's a testament to the quiet strength that veterans pass down to the next generation. And Cassius's betrayal? It stings, sure, but it also reminds me why I fell in love with this show in the first place, because no one is ever truly safe, and the good fights are always worth watching. I've been through the Luke and Laura era, the Sunny and Brenda days, the countless Cassadine schemes, and each time the writers find a way to make the familiar feel fresh. This Windermere arc is doing exactly that. I keep asking myself, as I sit through the commercials, what's waiting around the next corner? Will Carly reach her daughter in time? Will the truth about Cassius force a reckoning that changes alliances across Port Charles? And how will Jocelyn's escape reshape her own path forward? The answers feel close enough to touch, yet still just out of reach, which is precisely why I'll be parked in front of my television tomorrow and every day after. There's a heat building in this storyline, the kind that promises explosive confrontations and emotional payoffs we won't soon forget. I've felt this same anticipation before, right? Before major revelations that redefine characters for years. This one has that same spark. For an old fan like me, moments like these are pure gold. They reconnect me to why I started watching in the first place, the unbreakable spirit of the people in Port Charles, the way love and danger dance so closely together, and the quiet satisfaction of seeing a young woman like Jocelyn prove she's more than capable of carrying the torch. The room at Windermere may be dark, but the future of this tale is shining bright with possibility. I can't wait to see how it all unfolds, and I know I'm not alone in that. We've been through so much together, us longtime viewers, and this chapter feels like it's written just for us, full of heart, full of risk, and full of that special General Hospital magic that keeps us believing in the power of the next episode. Whatever comes next, I'll be right here, ready for it, because that's what we do. We watch, we feel, and we keep hoping for the light to break through, even in the darkest rooms.